Hey guys, this is Gus69. Um, Tonight, I'm recording this at night. I decided to do my last video before my trip to California. Have one day more, and then um, Friday morning I will be um, getting the flight to Miami and then to San Francisco. But I just saw a few hours ago, I saw an entry by two guys that I follow, Value Vinyl in Sak Blabath 65. They both did a reply or an entry to Stranger Queen channel. She has a contest, her first contest called Gimme the Prize. So I decided to jump in to help her. She's also known as Beth's daughter, Beth from B-Side Records. So another reason that I'm doing this, I subscribed to her channel and I'm doing this entry somewhat related to Queen. She's giving away the Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack, movie soundtrack. So I have that only digital, so I wouldn't mind to have that records in my collection. So I'm doing this entry, so let's start. Okay, as you can see, I have a few things yellow here, and I'm gonna show inside this yellow box. I have a few items that are also yellow, some objects like this, like this, and some DVDs, Kill Bill, Little Miss Sunshine, great movie, and another DVD, What the Bleep Down the Rabbit Hole. This is Quantum edition of this great documentary movie about quantum physics. My cat wanna go inside the box. So some more things. Sepultura album, Arise, another metal band, Singer's Hole, Bound by Fire, and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, She's the One. The book, I'm a designer, so this is a Portuguese book about design, great stuff. And finally, from my last trip, I got from Nashville, and also about yellow, some records like this one, Baby Animals, Australian bands, Sting, 10 Summoner's Tales, and Genesis, self-titled, from the 80s. Neil Young, Comes a Time. A few more. Kraftwerk, Computer World, Brazilian edition. Elves, That's the Way It Is. Some Brazilian artists, RPM, Lulu Santos. Okay, that's it for the first question. So, when I was 13 years old, it was 1983, and I was into Iron Maiden. This Peace of Mind album was released in that year, so I was a big fan of these British heavy metal bands. I am to this day, of course, great bands, and I just to show some of the CDs that I have, also with some yellow on it, on the covers: Fear of the Dark, No Prayer for the Dying, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, Live After Death, Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, and Killers. So, Iron Maiden, I was a big metalhead fan back in the 80s when I was 13 years. I think until 2000s I was a great Iron Maiden fan. I still like them to this day, but not so much as I used to be. For this one, I have to show this was the album that they had released when I first became aware of this band. I remember that I had a friend of mine who was very much into this band, and I remember going to his house and he put some of their songs, and I kind of like it, but I wasn't collecting back when this happened. This was released in 79. I was 10 years old, but I think I listened to this a couple years later because they came, I think, yes, 81, they played in Morumbi Stadium, and I was like a neighbor from that stadium, but I was too young to go to the concert. I was 12 years old, but I remember hearing at distance the sound of the crowds and their music, and I got really curious about this band, Queen. And a few years later, they released this album, Thank God It's Christmas. This is a Brazilian edition. It's like a compilation, and this was before they came to Brazil again. This was released 84, and then they came back to Brazil in 85 to play at Rock in Rio, and I was there. So I recently bought this one. This is a compilation. They released before the festival. So we have Radio Gaga from Queen. So I was there and I watched their concert. It's amazing concert. You should find in YouTube to watch Queen live at Rock in Rio 85. After the Rock in Rio in 85, I think 86, I started playing drums. I went to music school and I started learning drums. I studied for almost 3 years. I studied, and then I started playing bands, and I quit studying. Never do that. Keep studying. Keep studying. You have to study your whole life to be someone in the. If you wanna live by the music you play. So I didn't do that. I went to play with different bands. I had, I think, 4 bands here in Brazil. The last one was a Skid Row cover bands. Then I moved to Portugal. I have a lot of bands there. Played a lot in bars, in small venues, festivals, things like that. And I recorded a few demo tapes. One of the bands that I had in Portugal released a few albums, but I left the band before that. And recently, when I came back to Brazil, I formed a new band. We recorded a few tracks and we released in 2017 3 tracks of this project. This is the band Catamarock. This is a lo-fi I showed the other day, other video. It's like a mono pressing of our music. I'm sorry. In acrylic 7-inch disc. You can. Okay, let me show you. So I put the same song both sides. Just like to remember this, because I only did one. There is only one in the entire world. Okay, this was my last band. I'm not playing anymore with all those guys from this band, but we are still friends. Maybe I will play again with a new band. Who knows? You are looking to this a while. A great band that I love from Canada, Anvil, and this is a biopic about their ups and downs. They had like 5 minutes of fame and then they went all down to be an anonymous band, playing very small venues, things like that. And then with this movie made by ex-Road of the band, they came out, had more exposure after this movie. So they are still going, still releasing albums. I very much like their music, and I enjoyed a lot this movie because it's very touching the way that was made. So I recommend, if you are interested in heavy metal, check this Anvil, the story of Anvil. Okay, this is my entry. Congratulations for your first step on the vinyl community. I know that you like a lot movies and like a lot to play piano and also Queen. So you have a few things nice to have in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe someday you uh, put some of your voice in your videos, and maybe one day your face, so everybody can know who you are. And that's it. Again, my name is Gustavo, I'm from Brazil, and this is my entry to Stranger Queen contest. Bye bye.